Hello class, welcome back to your online class. So in our last class we were discussing about the transportation system in plants, right? So we have already discussed about the tissues which help in conduction of the water and minerals and translocation of the food in plants. So we have already discussed about xylem and phloem in detail. Okay, now for the water to be transported throughout the plant, okay, the plants has to undergo these two steps. Okay, first is your absorption, then would be your conduction. Plants first have to absorb the water, only then it can transport it throughout the different parts of the plant, right? So first would be your absorption. Now can you tell me which part of a plant absorbs water? We all know that, right? Root. Root absorbs water from the soil, and then with the help of xylem it is transported throughout the through different parts of the plant. Now how do roots bring about the absorption? So there are two important phenomena or process which helps in absorption. The first one is your osmosis and second one is your diffusion. Now before we move on to the characteristics of a root which helps to carry out osmosis and diffusion, first let us just have an idea about what is osmosis and what is diffusion. Okay, so first let us discuss about diffusion. Okay, so let us think this is a beaker. It is filled with water. The beaker is filled with water. Okay, now if you put few drops of ink here or any coloring agent here and keep it for a while, what can you see? What will you observe? If you, after keeping this for a while, you will observe that this water in the beaker, whole of it turns blue in color. It turns blue in color. Now this process is known as diffusion. So how will you define it? Diffusion means movement of the solute or solvent in any medium, that let that be liquid, gas or solid, from a higher concentration towards the lower concentration is known as diffusion. Okay, other example could be if you light an incense stick in one corner of your room, okay, after a while your whole room will be filled with the smell of incense stick, or that of let's take the example for perfume. If one of the student in the school class comes to the class spraying perfume, then what will happen? Every one of you can smell that, right? So that's the example of a diffusion. So here the solute is moving from a higher concentration towards the lower concentration. Okay, so that's diffusion. Now coming to the osmosis. Now in case of osmosis, how is it different from diffusion is, now in case of osmosis there is a requirement of semi-permeable membrane. So you need a membrane. Only in the presence of semi-permeable membrane the diffusion is going to occur. Okay, and only the solvent portion moves from a higher concentration towards the lower concentration. Let that solvent be water. So only movement of water from a higher concentration towards the lower concentration in the presence of semi-permeable membrane. So this osmosis occurs only in a liquid state, but your diffusion occurred in all the three physical states, that is solid, liquid and you have gaseous state. Okay, so I hope you could understand the difference between the osmosis and diffusion. Okay, so osmosis means movement of a solute from a higher concentration towards the lower concentration. It can occur in any medium, that is solid, liquid and gas. And osmosis means movement of water from a higher concentration, wherever there is a high amount of water, from that place towards the lower concentration, means wherever there is a low amount of water. But this takes place in the presence of your semi-permeable membrane and takes place only in a liquid state. I hope you understood the difference between osmosis and diffusion. Now let us discuss about the characteristics of root, which helps in carrying out the osmosis and diffusion, and by the process of which the water and minerals from the soil moves into the plants. Okay, now if you look at the root, I hope every one of you have seen root. Outside the root you have a small hair-like projection like this, right? Many hair-like projection. Now this hair-like projection, what are they termed? They are termed root hairs. Okay, now why is this root hairs present? Because if this root hair increases the surface area, that's why more amount of water can be absorbed at a time. Okay, just imagine you have a cold drinks bottle and you are supplied with only one straw, and your friend, okay, he also has same amount of cold drink bottle, but he is given 5 straw. Who do you think will finish up the cold drink first? Obviously your friend, because he has 5 straws, so he will be able to drink faster cold drink, right? Similarly here your root hairs are acting like a straw. These root hairs are acting like a straw which is going to absorb water. So because of the presence of this root hair, more and more amount of water could be absorbed. Now if you look at the structure of the cells of a root hair, now we are going towards the microscopic view. Okay, if you look at the structure of the cell, the nature of the root hair cell is such that inside the root hair cell you have more amount of minerals than that of a water. You have more amount of minerals. You have more amount of minerals than that of a water. That means your cell content, you call it as cell sap. Cell sap means mixture of mineral and water. So your cell sap is concentrated. Concentrated means you have more amount of minerals than that of a water. Okay, so how is the environment inside the root hair cell? You have less water. Okay, so as we know that root is surrounded by soil, right? Root is surrounded by soil, and you even water the plants regularly morning and evening, right? So what happens? The soil has more amount of water, yes or no? Because you are regularly watering it, so you have more amount. The soil has more amount of water as compared to your root hair cells. So what did I to tell you? What happens in osmosis? Water moves from the region of higher concentration, that means region where the amount of water is more, towards the less area. So your water, without spending any energy, is transported from soil towards the root hair, and from root hair then xylem takes up its work. Is that clear? Okay, so that's how the water is absorbed maximally by the process of osmosis. Now comes the role of a diffusion. Now what happens is, as we know that water and minerals, they are together, right? So when the water is being sipped through, okay, when the water is moving from higher concentration towards the lower concentration, some of the minerals along with the water, because the mineral content inside, some of the content of a mineral inside might be less, so along with the water the minerals also moves towards the root hair cell. That's by the process of diffusion. Okay, now as we know that the mineral content inside, the root hair cell is more, right? If you see, the mineral content is the mineral in cell sap, that means is more. Okay, if it is more, then do you think the solute will move from a higher concentration towards the lower concentration? No, it's not going to move. Now in that case, you have to utilize energy. You need to spend energy to take the minerals from a lower concentration towards the higher concentration. Now that process is referred to as, wherever you are spending energy in order to take the minerals from a lower concentration towards the higher concentration, that process is known as active transport. And your diffusion and osmosis, where you were spending no energy, this is referred to as passive transport. Passive transport. I hope you understood how the absorption takes place, right? Like I told you, by two important phenomena, that is osmosis and diffusion. I hope you got the idea clear about osmosis and diffusion, and how the characteristics of root hair cells are such that it helps in carrying out osmosis and diffusion. I hope you understood that, right? Now after you understand that, now the root hair cells have already absorbed the water from the surrounding. Now once the water is absorbed, that means what is going to be carried out next? What is it? Once the root hairs have absorbed the water, so what is the next task that the plant has got? That is conduction. Conduction means transportation of water from the root hair, from root to different parts of the plant. Now that conduction is carried out by the help of certain forces. There are certain forces which helps in conducting the water. The main one is your root pressure, which we have to discuss. And you have another forces also referred to as transpirational pull, but you do not have to go through this. You will just be discussing about the root pressure. Okay, so the roots have absorbed the water from root, from that means lower area. Now water will be conducted upward, right? The water will be conducted upward to different parts of the plant. Now that is referred to as ascent of sap. Ascent means upward. So upward movement of sap. Like I told you, what is sap? Sap is a mixture of water and minerals. Ascent of sap, that means upward movement of sap. So what facilitates the upward movement of sap? Number one, and which is according to your syllabus also, we will be discussing only about root pressure. Okay, now what happens? What is root pressure? Just look at the cross section that's given alongside, and it's given in your book also. Okay, you will the cross section means you have you have taken the thin slice of a root and then observed it under the microscope. You will be able to see the different layers of a root. So you have root hair, then you have epidermal cell. Root hairs are also the modified version of epidermal cell only. Their function is to protect, it acts like outer covering and thus help in protection. Okay, then you have cortex region, then you have endodermal region, then you have xylem. Okay, as we know that root hairs are surrounded by soil particles which is supplied with water time and again. That means you have more amount of water out in the soil particle. So what will happen? Through the process of osmosis, water will move into the root hair, absorption is going to take place. Okay, then it will, from root hair it will go to the epidermal cell, then from epidermal cell towards the cortex region. Okay, then the endodermis. So influx, the water keeps on moving into the cortex region again in influx and outflux, because from here it will again be once the water reaches the cortex region, the cells of our cortex region will be extended, fully fledged or turgid. Okay, then again through osmosis the water will move to the endodermal region, okay, then to the xylem. So this continuous movement of water continues for a longer period of time. So when there is a continuous outflux and influx of water, certain pressure is generated in the root region. Now that is only referred to as root pressure, and this only helps in conduction of the water from the root to the different parts of the plant. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, so we just have to go now. We will be just discussing about the absorption of the water and minerals only according to your syllabus. Okay, the conduction of the food or translocation of the food is not required. You just have to go through the structure of the xylem. That's translocation in precise we will not be dealing with. Okay. So that's all about this, the transportation system of a plant. Now next sub part of the same chapter is your transpiration, which we will be dealing later on in the next class. Okay, so go through it. In your book it's given in bit complicated form, they have not organized it quite well, so you go through it, go through the video once and go through your book, go through your books also, and even if then you have a problem, you just let me know. Okay, you just when you go through the contents in your book, please do not skip any experiment also that's given in your book, okay, about osmosis and diffusion. Those experiments will help you to have a clear idea about what those particular processes are in general. Okay, so go through it once. Is that clear? Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.